Selecting a final resting place is one of the most important decisions family members will make for their loved ones. And for Catholics, that special place is often within a Catholic cemetery.
Well, the biggest difference between Catholic cemeteries and the other cemeteries that, we build our cemeteries and design them to reflect the values and beliefs and wishes of Catholics. We have Catholic images and statues. Our counselors are trained to advise Catholics on the Catholic traditions, Catholic funeral rites, and we believe in the resurrection, the communion of saints. All of our images we have here are designed and intended to reflect the values and beliefs of Catholics. Well, the 4 Catholic cemeteries we have in the Diocese of Orange is our main cemetery here at Holy Sepulchre. We have about 50 acres. It's been here since the 1930s. It does the most burials of all of our Catholic cemeteries. We have Good Shepherd Cemetery in Huntington Beach, which was originally a private cemetery called Rosedale. It was purchased by the Los Angeles Archdiocese in the late 50s, early 60s. When the diocese split, of course, became part of the Diocese of Orange. It's our second most active cemetery. And then in Lake Forest, we have Ascension Cemetery, small cemetery that was developed in the early mid-60s. It's about 20 acres, but it handles our South County communities. We have the same options there that we have at all the others, but it's a smaller location, does a smaller amount of activity. And then the newly acquired Cathedral Memorial Gardens, acquired from the Crystal Cathedral Ministries, is something that we are now offering to Catholics in the community. It's been a very positive response. Many Catholics like the idea, the privilege of being at the cathedral site. When a family approaches the cemetery at a time of need, they come and sit down with our counselors. Our counselors are trained and certified to assist Catholic families in these matters. We interview them. What are they interested in? Do they want cremation? Do they want traditional full body burial? If they want full body burial, do they want to go in ground? Do they want to go in a mausoleum? If they opt for cremation, do they want to go again in ground? Do they want to go in a granite front outdoor niche? Do they want to come into a glass front niche facility like this? Well, here at Holy Sepulchre, we're currently sitting in the Gethsemane Gardens Niche Chapel. It is designed as glass front placement for designed urns. Rather than placing them behind a solid granite front, you have the opportunity to buy a very attractive urn. It is designed for you to display some keepsakes and the urns. Cremation in the Catholic Church for many, many years was prohibited. Up until the Vatican II loosened the prohibition of cremation in the Church, though frowned on it or discouraged it or didn't really encourage it. They did not allow the cremated remains to be present in the Mass. Up until about the 90s, I forget exactly what the event was, but they loosened the restrictions to allow the cremated remains to be present in the Mass, in the church at the Mass. And that has allowed cremation to become increasingly popular with Catholics. The key to cremation in the Catholic Church is that it's treated with the same respect and decorum as a body. People may want to scatter cremated remains. Well, you don't scatter a body. People may want to break up the cremated remains and distribute them with the family. Well, you don't do that with a full body. So the key to cremation when it comes to the Catholic Church, and as we explain to people, is it's to be treated with the same dignity, respect, and decorum as you would a full body burial. Our least expensive grave is around $3,400. Now, on top of that, you have interment fee, which is $1,200. You have the memorial, which is the headstone, and the flower vase if you want one. So you have a little bit of extra on top of that. They get you up to the $4,000 or $5,000 range by the time you're done. They go as high as $34,000 for a spot in one of these family estates. Well, niches, this is the more premium area. This is where people want to come in for a special place for their cremated remains. But we do have much more affordable and economical locations out in the cemetery in what we call a Columbarium, which is an outdoor bank of cremation niches, and they start around $2,500 for a space. We've developed a mausoleum. It's really the first one in Holy Sepulchre, and most of our cemeteries, the mausoleums are relatively new. We're very excited because it creates another option that Catholics want. There's certain groups in our community that prefer above ground mausoleum interment, or entombment, as we call in a crypt. The best advice that I could give from my position of being in this business as long as I have is to prearrange. We want the family to have the peace of mind, because we go through the grief as much as the family does. When they come in and they're broken down, they've lost somebody, they're grieving, it's a terrible time to have to make these decisions. Sometimes money isn't available. And when you'd have to make arrangements at the time of need, whether it's mortuary or cemetery, you have to pay that all off. You can't take that on a loan unless you put it on your credit card. When you pre-arrange, whether it's at the cemetery or mortuary, and we have a Catholic funeral plan that offers mortuary coverages, it gives you the chance to make those decisions while you can think, while you can discuss it with your husband, your spouse, your children, the rest of your family, and make those decisions when things are calm and collected, and you can make good, quality, qualified decisions and not be under the grief of a death in the family. So do that for your family. Do them a favor. They'll appreciate it more than you'll ever know.